Contingent pricing. Contingent pricing is a dynamic and flexible pricing strategy that aligns the cost of goods or services with specific outcomes or conditions. This approach can be particularly appealing in scenarios where the value of the output or the success of a project is uncertain. How contingent pricing works. Based on outcomes. The price is directly linked to the success, performance, or other measurable outcomes of a project or service. For instance, in a software development project, the final price might depend on the software meeting certain performance benchmarks or being delivered by a specific deadline. Risk sharing. This model shares the risk between the provider and the client. If the project succeeds, the provider benefits from a higher payment, reflecting the added value they've delivered. If the project doesn't meet the agreed upon criteria, the client pays less, mitigating their risk. Motivation and alignment. By tying payments to specific outcomes, both parties are motivated to align their goals. The service provider is incentivized to meet or exceed project expectations, while the client is reassured that their investment is protected against underperformance. Advantages of contingent pricing. Flexibility. It offers flexibility in negotiations, making it easier to close deals, especially when there's uncertainty about the project's outcome. Client assurance. Clients may feel more secure knowing that their payment is contingent upon receiving the expected value or results. Performance incentive. Providers are incentivized to perform to the best of their abilities to ensure they receive the full payment. Considerations and cautions. Uncertainty and complexity. Contingent pricing can introduce uncertainty, as the final cost may vary. Both parties must clearly understand the conditions that will affect pricing. Defining success. The criteria for success or specific outcomes must be clearly defined and measurable. Ambiguities can lead to disputes. Impact on cash flow. For service providers, this model can impact cash flow since the full payment is contingent upon the project's success. Risk of disagreement. There's a potential risk that disagreements over whether the outcomes have been met might arise, which can lead to disputes. Best practices. Clear agreements. Clearly define the project's goals, success metrics, and how these will impact pricing in the contract. Fairness and reasonableness. Ensure the contingent pricing model is fair and reasonable to both parties. It should not excessively favor one party over the other. Regular communication. Maintain open lines of communication throughout the project to discuss progress and any issues that may impact the contingent pricing outcomes. Documentation and tracking. Keep detailed records of progress, benchmarks, and outcomes to support the final pricing determination. In conclusion, contingent pricing can be a powerful negotiating tool that aligns the interests of both parties toward a successful outcome. However, its effectiveness relies on clear, transparent, and fair implementation, with well-defined terms that anticipate and address potential uncertainties and disputes.